It's time for me to make some kvass finally. I've been drinking it for so long, but I've always been a little bit afraid to actually make the drink. But here in New Zealand, we don't have access to the drink, nor do we have access to such good bread. So let's start off by making my apology bread, which is just bread that apes the distinct flavors of Latvian Rokmaise bread, even though it's not quite that. This recipe came about as a way of extending an olive branch to all of the suffering Europeans in New Zealand. This can be done with our ingredients, just a bit of effort. Okay, so we're going to be speed running this bread. So usually I'd say put your starter in the fridge, but we're going to leave this one on the windowsill and let it basically get to the top of the beaker. Now let me refine my meaning of bread here. I'm addressing people in the countries I call dense bread Europe, which is sort of like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Germany, Czechia, those countries. And it sort of explains why the bread in dough form looks like modeling clay. But with the right ingredients, it really gets there, and it hits the spot with a good whack of butter and a meat for the perfect Rupjmaize. It also happens to be the sublime basis for a wonderful kvass, which I think certain brews in Latvia have refined beautifully. And I'm hoping that the age of kvass will be ushered in and supplant beer as the primary beverage. But either way, the recipe for this loaf is in the description or on my website, casterazucar.com, which will also be in the description. But once they go into the oven and they have a initial burst on a high temperature, move to a low temperature, amazing. Okay, so this is our kvass stage. I got here by first taking out that beautiful rye loaf and giving it a extra toasting in the oven to get it nice and dark. Then I put it into a jar with about 75 grams of sugar. So we're talking about 150 grams of bread, 75 grams of sugar, and then topping it up with water. So hopefully that sort of works out nicely, but that water was boiling, so we've got to bring it down now to about room temperature and then add in the yeast. And then I'll cover it and I'll stick it in the cupboard and we'll leave it for a few days. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, it should taste very, very good. Okay, looks like they've been very, very busy. Look how yellow that is. Just had to clear out the cupboard because it was absolutely covered in kvass. Now, even though I sacrificed some kvass to the gods of kvass, it was happily bubbling away, and to be honest, so was I. Okay, these have been chilling now for 24 hours, and to be honest, I am a little bit nervous because I've seen some homebrew things go terribly wrong. So here we've got the one with the light brown sugar, and here we've got the one with the dark Muscovado sugar, and also a little bit of molasses. You can also see on the bottom here that there's been some settling of a bit of the fine particle matter that I couldn't get out. So we're not going to give this too much of a shake, but we are going to open it. And I'm standing below an electrical light fixture, so please, 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 please be good. All right, it's time to risk it for the biscuit. 3, 2, 1. That one actually smells like valmiermoja. And I'm quite excited for it. Right. time to taste test. We're gonna go for, which one should I go for first? I think I'm gonna like this one more. So we'll start with, smells a little bit farty, but that's really nice. Damn, that's good. It tastes like kvass, for sure. It tastes a bit more beery than the normal kvass. I guess there's a slightly higher alcohol content in this. It's a little bit more on the bitter side than a store-bought kvass. But it's not as sort of malty as something like Rupjmaize's kvass, which I expect this will taste a little bit more like. Yeah. It's amazing. These two taste quite different. This one's very, very caramelly flavored. I prefer this one, and it tastes closer to my favorite, which, as you well know, is Rupjmaize's Kvass. But that one has a more of a espresso-y taste to it. It's got more of a coffee taste to it. And I think that they're really, really cooking the hell out of the maize that they use to make their kvass. I've got two things I need to think about in this case. I need to simultaneously refine my bread recipe, but then I also need to look at what my additives might be when brewing my kvass. If I was to actually just sort of take a good coffee, brew it so it's a little bit weak, so you get just a delicate amount of flavor, and brew the kvass with just coffee and water, what would we end up with? The possibilities are endless, and believe me, my mind is already going a little bit insane with what we could do. Cheesecake kvass, donut kvass, black tea, black coffee, and see what the results are like. I think it could be good, an exciting new world. The texture of this, while it's got this sort of like very, very delicate fizz to it, natural fizz, it's a lot more syrupy mouthfeel than Rupjmaize or Kvass or any of those other store-bought brands. But I think this actually could stand to be watered down a bit, to be honest. Just a little less intensity, because it is just like, whoa! It's very extreme. I reckon even if I was just to top up this bottle with like a little bit more water, like up to sort of here, and then let it refizz, we'll probably get a more sort of approachable flavor profile. But yeah, first time making kvass, very happy. Oh yeah.